We have accidental fires that occur, or that trees get ripped out and power is left hanging, people evacuate their homes and they go back to a fire, or lightning strikes. So there's always going to be fires, but those numbers are steadily decreasing. We know our fire services are doing other jobs that the community requires. The municipality who sets that level of standards and determines what needs to be done. We look at the three lines of defense as a continuum. We don't just talk to the fire service. We don't just talk to municipal councils. We talk to everyone. And we need to see that continuum continue. The Office of the Fire Marshal is there for the benefit of municipal councils and for the benefit of the fire service. We provide advice and services to municipal councils. We provide advice and assistance to the fire departments. Together we see this is the best way for the continuum to work and our three lines of defense to work in a proper function. The Fire Prevention and Protection Act states that the Council of the Municipality may establish more than one fire department for a municipality. We know that you have 5 fire departments as based in your 2001 bylaw. Arcona, Forest, Grand Bend, Northville, and Bedford fire departments. That's how they're recognized according to your establishing and regulating bylaw. That's how they're reporting their business to us. In 2001, when you amalgamated, we understand that you had a lot on your plate to look after the amalgamation of the clerk's departments, your roads departments, your recreation departments, and all the services that go along with it. And you know, it goes back to the old story. If it wasn't broken, you didn't need to fix it at that particular time, and it worked. I can tell you that I came from a fire department that was amalgamated. I was part of the 1994 amalgamations. So I worked with 4 other fire departments who amalgamated into one municipal fire service. We took 5 fire stations from 4 municipalities and made them one fire department. Were there hard feelings? No question. There were. And in 2002, it took over another position in another municipality where it was a single municipality, and they always had 3 separate fire departments. But they recognized that they would be better served by having one fire chief and one fire department, but still recognizing the individual nature of those 3 stations, and they became one fire department with 3 separate stations. Still had 3 district chiefs, still had 3 deputy chiefs, but the efficiencies were much more noted in the other administration, fire prevention, public education bases. And for that service, the fact that there was only one budget that was moving forward. So in 2013, the best practice that we can probably suggest to you or describe to you is that there is one fire department in a municipality headed by one fire chief, but with as many officers as you deem necessary and where they need to be. We reviewed your 2012 calls and the calls for the number of years previous to that. And we know that you roughly ran between 200 and 250 calls a year. Not a huge number, and that's great. That's good. That means that work is being done, or that some of the core services are being enunciated and clearly identified, so that you're not doing a lot. We noted that Grand Bend has the most calls, and then we also looked at your profile and the information that goes with it. We see that you service another municipality from that station to a large extent. So we did break down some of those figures, and we do know that probably 50% of the time, if not more, was spent outside your municipality. The Fire Protection Prevention Act also says that every municipality shall establish a program in the municipality which must include public education with respect to fire safety and certain components of fire prevention, and provide such other fire protection service as it determines may be necessary in accordance with the needs and standards. So basically what we're saying there is that you as council establish the level of service. You as council tell the fire department what that level of service is. The fire department are your experts. Obviously you're going to rely on them for the advice that they provide you, but ultimately you're the ones who decide what it is. You must have a public education and fire prevention program of some sort. And I understand that you contract some of your fire prevention duties out to some individuals who are doing a work for you. The part B of that is that that other fire protection services as it deems to be necessary in accordance with its needs and circumstances. And that's where you establish the fire department. So in order to be in compliance with the first section, 218, which says every municipality shall establish a program which includes public education with respect to fire safety and other certain components, these are the 4 tasks that we ask every municipality to do. That you complete a simplified risk assessment. Your simplified risk assessment was completed in 2008. It requires update. You have a smoke alarm program including home escape planning. That's a role that your fire department needs to do. They need to have a very functional and working smoke alarm program with this home escape planning. That's a public education component. You must continue to distribute public education materials and deliver public education programs. That's where we talk to our seniors, that's where we talk to our clubs, that's where we talk to our schools, that's where we talk to our church communities, that's where we talk to all those people. And that's a very important part. Again, that goes to public education, the first part of the 3 lines of defense. And you must conduct fire prevention inspections upon request or complaint. And again, as I noted earlier, you were doing that. This doesn't talk about what it is that you provide as far as emergency response and suppression or requirements are. That's something that you decide locally as to what it is that you can do. We don't have a hand in that, but we can assist you as is required. To be in compliance with section 212, every municipality shall provide other such protection services as may be necessary in accordance with the needs and circumstances. So you should be doing routine fire inspections, and again, I understand that you have a contract, and so a number of inspections are being done. You have to do investigations of fire losses, and you have to have those public education programs. And you may provide emergency response, which could be fire suppression, emergency medical response if necessary, or specialized rescue services. So how do you determine that? You determine that in consultation with your fire chief. You need to identify the core services based on your needs and circumstances in your community. I know that you have a varying community. That's part of that good old amalgamation that happened. It took the rules and made it with the small urbans, and made it with the villages, and made it with the tourist areas. I know Grand Bend is a huge tourist area for you. And I'm just again quickly looking at your municipal profile. One thing that we like to do before we come into a municipality is look at your municipal profile. What is it that you're proud of on your website? And so we looked at it, and looked at the number of cottages that are in the Grand Bend area. And again, I came through your community last fall, and I spent some time in Grand Bend in some of your small towns and villages. My wife decided it was a good week to go shopping, so that's what we did. We spent some time here in your community, and I enjoyed it. But those are those things that you need to talk about. You need to identify your core services. You really need to look at your building stock. A small fire or a fire in an industry that supports your community with 5, 10, 30 employees, and if it's lost, that's that tax base that you've lost. Those are those ratepayers that may have to move out of the area because they don't have a job anymore. So looking at your building stock is extremely important. So you need to do a comprehensive inspection or risk assessment. You need to look at the public education, fire prevention, suppression, and rescue activities that you provide. Are they sustainable? Can you do it? Does it bring a huge burden? Again, I know you've got a huge beach area, so what do you do for water rescue? You're a farming community. What do you do for silo rescue? You have traffic that causes nightmares no doubt in the summertime in certain areas, especially in the long weekends. So what is it that you do for traffic control and motor vehicle accident response and stuff like that? That's your decision in consultation with your fire chiefs as to what it is that you can do. We looked at your bylaw 2001 on your establishing and regulating bylaw. We noted that the core services weren't clearly identified, and really that the bylaw requires some updating. There's a couple sections of your bylaw that actually don't apply to your fire service whatsoever. They're referencing parts of the legislation that deal with full-time fire departments. We did a quick risk assessment